So I'm pretty sure you talked over that, but that was the theme.
Oh, fuck's sake. Hello, ladies and gentlemen and others. Welcome to another episode of Mukkapod, the weekly one-stop shop for everything in the world of gaming and geek culture and fandoms and everything you like. Movies, comics, gaming, anime, you name it, we've got it. And if we ain't got it, you don't need it. I am your host, Jamie, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Jord. Jord, how's it going, mate?
Not too bad, thanks. Just melting, dying, you know.
Oh, it's so hot.
Standard
It's
stuff.
so hot. Something's got to give with this heat eventually, mate. I'm telling you that for nothing. Joe, there's a lot of billionaires, going to space at the moment. I'm a bit worried about it, mate. There's Jeffrey Bezos was up there today.
The thing that I'm worried about is that they're coming back. Like, what's the what's the point in going?
Honestly, yeah, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Jeffrey Bezos. If you're listening to this, stay up there. Do you know what I mean?
We don't really need you. We're good.
No,
but they're the wealth creators. Fuck off.
Oh, dude, it's just a dick measuring contest, isn't it? Like they can say that it's.
But
for
Jay, they
humanity,
create
it's just-
jobs, mate. They
Yeah, but
create
shit jobs. But it's shit jobs, though, isn't it?
Well,
Man?
you don't
Like-
want to piss in a bottle and earn a minimum wage. Like,
No, I really don't,
problem?
mate. I don't want to like have a heart attack and die in the warehouse either, mate. You know what I mean? I'd rather not do that in my job. Nah, mate. But they could say it's for humanity until they're blue in the face, but it's not, is it? It's just a dick measuring contest, man. But as someone like yourself who consumes a lot of superhero stuff, like. It's a little bit. I've been on the business end of seeing these billionaires that have got too much money and wealth going a little bit crazy and going to space and stuff. So I'm a little bit concerned, mate. I'm a little bit concerned, but yeah, let's hope they.
Imagine literally being like, imagine literally having two options, right? And you wake up in the morning, right, and you can cure world hunger, or you could go to space and make like on a vanity project. And imagine fucking picking the second option there. Not thinking
into space.
Not thinking. Oh, you know what? I should probably end world hunger. I have the means, you know. Or I could, you know, I should probably end poverty in the United States or something like that. And be like,
Nah, fuck that.
fuck that. Not today, lads.
No.
We're going.
The thing is, though, that
we're going to the moon, mate. It's like,
they probably live in a bit of a clique though, and it's like if Richard Branson's go to space and Elon Musk is go to space, I'm going to go to space as well because I've got the biggest dick. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's definitely what it is.
Waste
part of it is also trying to have the first, you know, tourism space company, or you know, the first big one. Cause
it's not like you can go and have a week's holiday in space, but what they'll do is they'll take you up, won't they? And you could just have a little bit of a ride in the atmosphere. I don't give a shit. I'm never going to be rich enough to do that. So so it doesn't really matter to me. So no, stay in space, guys. We don't need you on Earth. All right, I just wanted to mention that up top because it is nice and topical. We are Mukkapod, and the way we kind of run things down is that we will go now into a few items in the world of geek culture and movie news. Talk about that, and then we've got our main topic a little bit later on in the episode, which is going to be Loki, which wrapped up this past week on Disney Plus. We're going to be talking about the entirety of Season 1, which I'm looking forward to talking about, and then we're going to talk about Aazitgewin and just find out how we've been getting on. Even though we've like seen each other quite a lot this week. Like,
yeah, I mean, I saw you like a day ago, so,
so it's probably going to be a short.
I mean, no complaints, mate. No complaints.
Jord. One of them, mate. One of them.
Oh, cheers. I mean, that looks like a rectangle, but I'll take it.
No. It's meant to be like a little love art. I've just got chunky Cumberland fingers. If you are watching this on YouTube, in addition to seeing us there, you can also catch us live every Monday at twitch.com. It's twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/Mukkapod. So you can catch us a week earlier and live, where you can get involved in the conversation and interact with us. And why wouldn't you want to do that? So, news, Jord?
Tis, mate.
Let's crack on, mate. So last week we talked about Black Widow. And I've seen a lot of stuff going on this week, kind of like coming across my feed and stuff like that, about Black Widow potentially being a little bit of a failure. Like, it didn't have the longevity that Marvel has kind of grown accustomed to. Having a 67% drop off in its second week and getting absolutely caned at the box office by Space Jam 2.
Bad film to lose to.
Yeah. Definitely.
Really.
Well,
Not
I've heard
hearing very good things about Space Jam 2.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews. It depends on where you go for that one. I've heard it's got a few good. I've heard it's got a few good jokes. Like Big Chungus makes a cameo.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm sold. I'm sold on the Big Chungus, mate. But I think there's a few factors at play here, though, mate. Because you see, I know that the kind of restrictions of the C word coming to an end now, but you've got to remember that this is still a pandemic era kind of film, and also with it releasing on Disney Plus as well. And a lot, I don't think it's fair to compare this particular bog standard MCU movie to something like Endgame, which obviously had a lot more staying power for a lot more reasons.
Yeah, so there definitely is different factors. You would think as well that the general Marvel movie-going audience are probably a bit more left-leaning, so would be a bit less likely to go out and jump in the cinema,
Yeah. Probably
especially someone going to see a female-led superhero film. They're probably not ultra-conservative, do whatever the fuck they want, wear no mask, you know. So, even though there's people out and about, they're probably not going to see Black Widow. I think another factor is, with the day-and-date release on Disney Plus, that means that there's a good version to pirate really quickly.
Ooh, saying it like it is.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
Big truth. No, but nobody's talking about that. Everybody's like, oh, well, the day-and-date release of Disney Plus, it probably means that people are staying home and watching it. And it's like, yeah, but they're not watching it via your streaming service. They're watching it through
a lot of people are. A lot of people are. And it made a lot of money through their streaming service. And another thing that you need to think of on top of that is they're still getting monthly subscription fees. So they're still making, for every film they sell on Disney Plus, there's also a subscription fee to add to that as well. So they are making a lot of money off it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I can imagine that the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff is the main reason that Disney Plus has got the amount of subscriptions that it does. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure everybody's got the Little Mermaid on DVD, mate. Do you know what I mean? We're not subscribing for that. Like, well, everybody knows that
they might not, because Disney have a very Nintendo style release system where they don't have.
They don't support their own releases.
Well, it's not that. It's that they don't have them on sale constantly, so that when they release them, they sell for full price.
I suppose so. And then if they're not in syndication for cheap prices, that could. I might be standing corrected. I was just trying to make a fucking joke.
I mean, I'd probably have Disney Plus as someone with a young kid. I would probably have it without the Marvel stuff. It's difficult to say because we've always known that there's going to be Marvel stuff. There's going to be Star Wars stuff coming to it. But I would like to think I'd probably have it anyway, because there is a lot of other good stuff on there. I think Star's a bit of a letdown to be honest, because all of the good stuff was already sort of leased out to other streaming platforms.
Yeah, that was a little bit gutting. I thought there'd be way more on that than there ended up being.
And I just want to quickly touch on with Black Widow. A lot of people, you see articles with people bitching about how, like, people in the cinema industry, the movie industry, are bitching that they shouldn't have done this because it's killing the movie industry. I'm fucking sorry, but have you seen the releases for this year? You don't need to rely on Black Widow to fucking revive the movie industry. There is like 10 films coming out every weekend at the moment. Or there was when places started to open up, and those films aren't going anywhere. They're still in the cinemas. What's changed is the people and the market. It's not Disney's fucking fault because they wanted to release Black Widow on their streaming service. So definitely not. One, everyone can see it that wants to see it without getting spoiled and without having to risk, getting ill, depending on what part of the world you live in. Things could be a lot worse there. Things are pretty bad in the UK again now. I probably wouldn't go to the cinema if this came out tomorrow. I've been double jabbed, but my partner's pregnant, so there's more to it than that. But,
yeah.
But I'm just, one person. You've got to think on the grand scale of a whole country, and there probably are people that think Black Widow's probably not worth spending 2 weeks in hospital for. You know?
No, yeah, probably not. And also, it's like I said last week, man, which is my trademark catchphrase for this movie. Great film, 5 years too late, and that does seem to be the kind of word of mouth that's around as well. It's got less critical. It's got less critical and fan praise than a MCU movie would usually get. It's a little bit just like kind of middle of the road. Go on, sorry, what you gonna say?
I think these people are also thinking, oh, this is a Marvel film. It should have made $1 billion at the box office in cinemas. Well, no, this is a Black Widow film. It probably should have made about 700, 800 in its total run, and it's probably well on its way to that. I saw that it was hundreds of millions what it's made so far.
Oh, it's made a killing, mate. Like when we talk about this film in the context of it being a failure, it's only framed by the fact that usually these films do make $1 billion. They usually have a bit more staying power than a massive drop.
But I genuinely don't think that this film would have made $1 billion regardless. I think it would have made 700-800 million, maybe a little bit more.
I think if you'd done this again, I hate to say I'm redundant because I usually say it as a joke, but
no, let me say it 5 years ago.
If you'd have done this 5 years ago, thanks, Jord. I hadn't thought of that. If you had done this 5 years ago, then you would have beat Wonder Woman to the punch. You would have beat Captain Marvel to the punch. Obviously, we all know that Captain Marvel made $1 billion. And people
all know now, don't we, Jay?
we know now, yeah, that Captain Marvel made $1 billion because you clarified that for us last week. God bless you. But no, yeah. Mate, I've lost my train of thought now. Thanks for that, mate. No, I've got it back. So if this had come out in sort of that release window before Wonder Woman, before Captain Marvel, and I know people were clamouring for a Black Widow movie, maybe this could have made $1 billion. I think it's just a victim of circumstance, unfortunately. I don't know whether you class it as a failure, but it's definitely disappointing for Marvel numbers, and they really need to crush it going forward now.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly onwards, mate. Spoiler alert for the upcoming Flash movie. If you don't want to know anything about the upcoming, like I said, Flash movie, this next story is kind of like leaks and set photos that not everyone's going to want to see. So maybe just sort of like maybe mute it for a little bit and we'll give you a little wave.
It's too late. It's on screen now. It's on screen
now. Classic Batmobile, classic Batcave. This, like we all know that Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, but I didn't expect it to be to this degree. You know, like the Batmobile hasn't aged a day. The Batcave looks more or less the same as it did. This is super cool, man. It's super cool that they're kind of bringing in all these elements from previous franchises. I really hope that it serves a good purpose in the story and it isn't just like, oh, look at this, do you remember this? Because I think that's as much as I love the Easter eggs in movies and shit like that, I think it's starting to be a little bit overdone. So I hope it's more story based and less referential, but I think it looks great, man. What do you think? Neither of us are the biggest DC fans, but
me even less so, I would say. It looks cool, it looks old. I hope the film's good.
It looks retro. People are losing their fucking minds about this today.
I don't know why are they making an Ezra Miller Flash film? Didn't he like choke a fan or something like that? or are we just ignoring that now, or was it fake or something? What have I missed?
don't know.
What have I missed here?
I've heard that from you, but I haven't heard that from anywhere else.
I mean, we can watch the video on the podcast, but
I'm not too bothered about.
We'll
that,
watch it in the break or something.
Yeah. Let's watch it in the break. But no, I've read tweets today of people saying that they've shed tears and they've got goosebumps looking at it and stuff like that. So having this particular aesthetic and this particular character. This particular interpretation or what's the word? Iteration of the character being in this modern context, and I think it's to a lot of people it means a shitload. It's the same kind of it's the same kind of Chewie we're home kind of moment when Han Solo turned up in Star Wars. That kind of thing. Like if later on down the line we do get a multiversal movie and fucking Hugh Jackman comes out of a portal or whatever, do you know what I mean? So it looks like that kind of thing that, oh my god, it's a fucking car. That's what my takeaway from it. Like,
yeah, it's a big car.
Bless them though, I'm glad it's making people happy.
It looks cool, but it also looks like something that's on like display at a museum, like a film museum or something. I can't.
Yeah, that's probably where they've got. That's probably where they've got it from. They've called it a favour. Have you ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where they go to that car museum and they've got the Batmobile and they've got Batman and Robin in the driver's seat, and someone goes up and goes, "Oh wow, these guys are really lifelike." And then he turns around and it's Adam West. And he goes, I've had a lot of surgery, old chum. That kind of reckless destruction
Oh, we've lost.
Let's move on. A bit of a
Dropping
baffling story here, man. So the Emmy nominations came out, right?
Right.
And quite a few nominations for the Marvel Disney Plus stuff, including outstanding guest character for Don Cheadle. Now, I love Don Cheadle. He's a great actor.
Yeah,
He's great
man.
in this role. But
but
wasn't he in Falcon Winter Soldier for like all of 30 seconds?
Yeah, it was literally nothing. And the problem that I have with this is there are a lot of really good shows and really good nominations. You know, Bo Burnham Inside got nominated, which I think is the best piece of media that's been made over the course of the pandemic. And you know, to me, this completely ridiculous nomination sort of devalues those a little bit. It devalues, you know, WandaVision getting 20 or whatever nominations it was. Because it seems like they'll just hand them out to fucking anyone. Don Cheadle, you stand there for 30 seconds, done. You know, Emmy nomination.
It's weird. It's weird to me that Don. Again, no disrespect to Don Cheadle, because I know people have been directing their kind of frustration about this at Don Cheadle himself.
And he's just as confused, you know.
I was going to say, he's like, I don't understand that either. I'll take it. Obviously, you're going to take an Emmy nomination, and maybe it does cheapen the rest of the nominations. And it's baffling to me that you know, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie didn't make the cut for any nominations either. You know, like we've got outstanding sound editing, outstanding visual effects, and obviously outstanding supporting, guest character. But we don't have any nominations for any of the lead actors from Falcon Winter Soldier.
Do you reckon Ike Perlmutter is somewhere and he thinks that he's nominated Anthony Mackie?
Yeah, fucking hell, man. Fucking hell.
I honestly don't understand what's...
ridiculous dude, man. What a ridiculous dude.
We won't jump into it. It's just a joke. If they just if they looked at all of the Oscar, like white Oscars controversies and been like, we need more people of colour, and been like, oh, Don Cheadle was in this.
That's crossed my mind that it's a bit of box ticking, the demographic check kind of thing, because I know people kick off at the Oscars when there's not enough diversity in certain categories and whatever. And again, let me be perfectly clear, like I've got no ill will towards Don Cheadle, and when he was in Falcon Winter Soldier, he was brilliant in that role because he's good in that role. He embodies that character. He's great in the MCU as a whole. But he was in it for all of 30 seconds. He had like one scene, a few lines of dialogue. Not sure that earns an Emmy nomination. I
tell you what, you know, does earn an Emmy nomination. If we're talking about especially the Marvel films, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but Jonathan Majors for, you know, one episode of Loki, or Richard E. Grant for one episode of Loki. That is what that award was made for. Both of those would deserve not just the nomination, but both of those would deserve the win. Those were outstanding performances that we got for one episode of a TV show.
Absolutely hit it on the head. I would see Evan Peters nominated before, because there was just more substance to it if they were going to nominate someone for this category from a Marvel show. Yeah. But I feel like you've hit it on the head.
I think if you go with someone like Darcy instead of Evan Peters in a show like that.
Oh God, yeah, no, absolutely. I forgot about that. But would she fall into the supporting character?
You know what? I think she was probably nominated. Should we pull the fucking list up, guys?
Pull the list up. Give me a list of the nominations, mate. But
I'm not gonna, read through.
No, just any interesting ones.
Yeah,
like the highlights.
Lead actor, which I think is. Are you fucking kidding me? The Emmy nominations are paywalled on The Independent. Mate, I hate 2021 internet. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I hate the internet in general.
Okay,
right,
I'll go to the actual Emmy site. Fucking
go on.
Ridiculous.
I'm remaining completely impartial.
Video announcements here.
Forget it. That, like, somebody's gonna win, and we'll talk about it when they do.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit silly. A little bit silly.
I really would like to, just be able to pull something up that isn't fucking paywalled and isn't a video. Okay.
I keep getting things. Keep getting things to telling me to turn off my ad blocker, and I'm like, no, that's why I got the ad blocker, though. Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah. Okay, so just quickly, stuff that would appeal to us. Obviously, for the best drama series, we've got The Mandalorian and The Boys.
Yeah. Yep.
Both pretty good shots.
Competing against each other.
Yeah, for comedy series, we've got Cobra Kai. And then
haven't seen it.
A lot of things I haven't seen. Cobra Kai's great, man. You should definitely watch Cobra Kai. Best limited series, we've got WandaVision. That's a bit weird that Falcon and the Winter Soldier isn't also there.
No.
Well, okay, sorry. Jonathan Majors is nominated, but just for Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
Something else. Okay, fair enough.
Maybe Loki was behind the cut-off point or something. If
Loki was behind the cut-off point, definitely.
That'll be next year then. That'll be next year.
Probably. Just scrolling through, Paul Bettany for best lead, and Elizabeth Olsen for best lead as well.
Give that to Paul Bettany. He fucking
crushed it. I'd give it to Elizabeth Olsen before I gave it to Paul Bettany.
Really, I think he crushed it.
I think she was given more to work with though. I think for what he was given, I think he smashed it, but.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like you got the full spectrum of Paul Bettany's range in that show, from the more comedic first couple of episodes to the shit hitting the fan, and then
don't get me wrong, he deserves a nomination. And if Elizabeth Olsen's performance was a bit shitter, then he probably would deserve the win. But I think she takes it.
I'd give him the win. I think the Mandalorian versus the Boys is a hard matchup. Who have you got in that fight?
I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to win. Looking at the rest of them, I think shows like The Queen's Gambit and stuff like that are just going to completely fucking run away with it. Yeah. Run away with every award. We've got guest actor in a drama series. Don Cheadle, fucking hell. Okay, so you got Carl Weathers and Timothy Oliphant for The Mandalorian, also in that category, and I think they're both great shouts.
I think Bill Burr is a good shout as well.
Well, he ain't on here, mate.
He's not on there, is he? I like Bill Burr in that episode. He gets a great scene where he shoots that guy in the canteen. Emmy award winning.
That is actually a really good episode.
Brilliant scene, man. And he was only in one episode, so he could have been there.
Okay, what the fuck is this? Sorry, dude. Sorry to interrupt. What the fuck is this? Under the nominations for Variety Special, we've got the Oscars and the Grammys. I'm sorry, but this is like...
That's them doing that.
It's like insider trading, really. It's like, I'm not having this.
You know that meme where Obama's putting the medal on Obama?
It really is that.
Yeah.
Okay, Variety Special pre-recorded. We have, of course, got Bo Burnham's inside. There's a couple of other things on here. There's the Friends reunion. That should lose. Definitely. I'm going to be really annoyed if Friends reunion loses. I think the biggest competition for inside in this category is Hamilton.
That'll take it, man.
I think it probably will, unfortunately. I definitely think Inside deserves it, but again, I haven't seen Hamilton.
I haven't seen Inside. I'm just taking your word for it. So, but from what I have seen of Bo Burnham, then absolutely should walk that category. He probably won't though, unfortunately. But
no, probably not. I'm a bit annoyed to see that there's no in an animated program. There really is nothing. I feel like Attack on Titan should be here. Does
Attack on Titan? They don't give credence to anime though, do they? There's the same thing.
Dude, they've fucking nominated Big Mouth.
Yeah.
They've nominated Big Mouth. Okay, Bob's Burgers is great. An Adult Swim show that I've never heard of. They nominated current Simpsons, Jay.
No Invincible.
No Invincible. Okay, that's disgusting. You got Simpsons on here, but no Invincible. Wow.
Invincible, Attack on Titan should be there. Potentially Mugen Train.
So we're going to stop looking at this now because they've completely lost all respect that they should never have had in the fucking first place.
I mean.
Anime girl on screen, lads.
Yeah, lads. No, but let's be honest with each other though. These kinds of award shows are losing relevance fairly quickly in the mainstream, and a ridiculous.
I would say
nomination.
so. I would say
a ridiculous nomination.
Me and you will not give a shit about it, but I think it will entice people to see films and to see TV shows if they do win. I think they're good. I think they're good for marketing still, even for people that don't give a shit about the actual.
Emmy award winning, all right, for branding, I guess. But It's like, did you see the viewing figures for the Oscars this year? Like, I mean, I know nothing came out.
It was less than
this
like
year, but
a mid
yeah.
to low level, decently sized YouTube channel gets on an average video. It was pitiful. You know, it was. Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah. Not a good one. All right, shall we move on?
We should.
Do you want to take the lead on this next one, mate? Because I know that you're quite...
Okay, yeah, so this is one of the rare times where I send Jay a story for the podcast. And it is that One Piece has outsold Batman as being the highest grossing... I'm not sure what the term is, you know, comic, essentially.
The most selling... Yeah, graphic novel, graphic media or whatever, yeah.
Of all time. Now, this, if I remember off the top of my head... Batman was second. Now One Piece is second. Obviously, there's so many volumes of One Piece, but it is a newer franchise than Batman, which has been going on for a lot longer. I mean, this is insanely impressive. Mate. And like,
the 30s?
I'm pretty. If I had to guess, I'd say 50% of all One Piece sales are made in Japan anyway. Like, you know, just Japan. So that's crazy. I think it just speaks to more what we've been talking about a bit over the past couple of months, is that, you know, anime and manga, it really has hit the mainstream now. It's bigger than it's ever fucking been. The numbers that some of these properties and IPs are selling in, you know, physical media, it's nuts. It's, you know, like 80 million copies in a year for like Demon Slayer or something like that, or
it's so fucking good though. Like, it's been on my peripheral for years, but I've really dived into it since doing this podcast. And fucking anime and manga is so fucking good, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, even something like this One Piece, which I haven't checked out myself, but obviously it has got a massive following. It's been going for years. Yeah. But to be ranked second next to only Superman, when Batman has been going since the 30s, and this is like when did this start? Like the
22 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So 1999.
That's absolutely crazy.
It is bonkers, and it must only be a matter of time. If it keeps going, you know, One Piece could end. I'm not up to date. I haven't read any of it, but I'm pretty sure it's close to ending at this point. It's got to be, you know, a few years off.
Well, that's the thing. There
is a huge chance that it can overtake Superman. Unfortunately, it is highly likely that Superman and Batman will retake these positions long after One Piece has finished, a couple of years
because
after.
It finishes. That's the difference.
But that's it.
Between,
because it finishes, yeah.
Yeah, between manga and like Western comics, because mangas usually have like a defined beginning, middle, and end kind of thing, and that's the way that they're all written. Whereas Batman, Superman, they've got multiple titles, they've got multiple different comics in circulation at any given time, and they're serialized. It's the soap opera thing. They go on and on and on and on and on, and there'll never be a definitive end until it stops making money. And Batman and Superman are never going to stop making money. They're like, you could show somebody from the back end of nowhere a Superman logo, and he'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Superman logo. Do you know what I mean? It's just world renowned. You can't, and that's the kind of marketing you can't buy kind of thing. But it's a good little bit of kind of validation for the media, because I know that anime fans, they take a lot of shit from people in the mainstream, people on the internet. Do you know what I mean? There's still a little bit of a stigma attached there, and it's honestly, it's so fucking good, man. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't know whether One Piece deserves because I can't tell you. I haven't read any of it. I don't know whether it deserves the number 2 slot in most sold physical fucking media or whatever the denomination is, but it's good for the whole genre going forward, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. You know, and you know, the more headlines that it gets, the more people that are going to be like, oh, maybe I should give this a go. Maybe this manga thing is pretty cool.
Yeah, One Piece is daunting though, man. I don't think you'll ever get me on board with that. It's a lot of...
I would have to agree. I haven't got the time. If I was a little teen man...
A teen man?
Maybe. You'd have much better of a shot anyway.
Okie dokie, matey. So, there is a new key visual out for Demon Slayer.
And I've already got it up ready. I've just been...
You got it pulled up on screen.
God
bless
indeed.
you, man.
So we're just going to give this a quick watch. Sorry about the aspect ratio. Trying to figure out a way to make it look good on screen.
It's not a hugely important. It's not a hugely important video, to be honest with you, mate.
Let's go for it then.
Yep, go for it. It's just the poster. It ends up being just the poster. So let's give this a bash.
And it's coming through Twitter video, which is notoriously shit, through my stream, which is on my internet, which is notoriously shit. So,
so
it's gonna look really bad.
Probably going to be notoriously shit. There you go.
I feel like that was a visual we've already seen in a previous. Could be wrong.
No, mate. There was a trailer, but not this particular poster. This key visual, which gives a little look into kind of like the tone, the look and feel, and a few characters going into season 2, which still doesn't have.
There's my goal, mate.
Yes. There's plenty of anime waifus on this poster. There is
a lot of new characters showing up that we haven't seen in the show yet.
I don't know who any of those are on the left hand side. I know that one in the middle is sort of like the female version of Michael Jackson. I can't remember the character's name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can think of all of the different syllables that make up his name in my brain, but I can't figure out the order.
Yeah. And
Mutsuki Busuji? I don't know. I give up.
That was close. Mutsu, yeah. So
MJ.
The MJ, yeah. In the middle there is MJ's kind of female form. Then obviously you've got our main sort of quadrilogy of
okay. I didn't know
of characters
they had different forms. Interesting.
He sort of transformed at the end of season 1, didn't he?
I can't remember.
He went into that weird alternate kind of upside down room dimension and got rid of all the lower moons apart from one who ended up being the antagonist of the movie. And then he transformed into a woman, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, remember vaguely.
Yeah, I might have that wrong as well, but and then up at the top there you've got the is that the wind element? What are they called again? The
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. They're like
the Hashiras or something like that. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Like earthbenders and shit from Avatar, essentially.
Yeah. Element bender.
But with swords.
Yes. I think that's the wind or the stone. I'm not sure if it's the stone guy, the one that cries, or one of the others. But it looks cool, man. Obviously the setting's going to be a little bit more sort of like city based. I like that. I like the sort of purple glow you got there. I'm interested to see these characters, and yeah, I just want a release date now. We still haven't got that. You would have thought
it
that
would
the release.
be nice. Yeah, we should probably have had one by now. But...
You should have. You would have thought it would have come with this announcement. It's 2021, but we don't know.
I know we recently got and recently reacted to the film, but that shit came out nearly a year ago in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think at least a date announcement. Maybe there is, and maybe it's in kanji that I don't know how to read.
No. I was looking it up for this as well. There isn't one just yet. But I think that the back end of this year is going to be front loaded with a shitload of anime that we're excited about. Because you got Demon Slayer season 2, you got Chainsaw Man, you got Attack on Titan season 4 part 2. Like the bottom end of this year is just going to be, and that's not even taking into account like Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. It's just going to be content. Like. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for it, mate. Super excited.
Good. I'm excited.
Yes, me too.
Do we want to talk about the Steam Deck?
It's sort of been and gone, hasn't it?
It's been and gone a bit. It was such a big thing that it died within like a day, and everyone had seen it. I don't think it needs speaking about. I'm probably going to get one. I will say, I'm probably going to get one.
It suits your style as a gamer a little bit more. I find it absolutely hilarious that we've been waiting for ages for the release of a Switch Pro, and then there was kind of like a non-announcement last week, and then this week Valve have come forward and been like, "All right, we'll do it then. It's fine."
It's fucking Infinity Gauntlet. Fine, I'll do it myself, sort of shit.
Because you could probably load this thing with an emulator that would run Switch games, and there's your Switch Pro. Do you know what I mean?
People have already basically like theoried it that you can. I won't be doing that. I don't see the need to do that.
If I'm Nintendo, though, I'm sweating right now.
Nah, if you're Nintendo, you just don't pay any attention to what every other game company around the world is doing, and it's been like that for 40 years. So you just get on with yourself. They really should though. They're so out of touch with what people want. Okay, you know what I mean? You can say this, but the Switch is still the best performing console in the world. Came out 4 years ago.
No, but it is, mate. But like, what the fuck are they doing in terms of support of old games and things like that? Like the pre-owned market, and
it's all calculated, mate. It's all calculated. They know that people are. They know that they have an issue with people just emulating their old games. But when for fucking example, when this shit does come around and it's full fucking price and it's just old games, people will scoop it up by the millions.
It's they're hungry for it, mate. I'm telling
exactly,
you now,
and that's the whole intention of it. The reason, they could quite have easily just stuck the exact Wii version of Skyward Sword on the eShop for 15 quid, for 20 quid, right? And give people access to that old game. But like, nah, we're going to stick HD on the end of it and we're going to make people pay fucking 60 quid because they can. And people are paying it. So...
Well, yeah, the price of games and the price of consoles, and especially hardware and stuff, is sort of going off the fucking scale now. I mean, I've got the next story on the docket here is the director of God of War 4 and also the upcoming God of War Ragnarok has absolutely blasted Sony for the price of the PlayStation 5 in Brazil, because basically so it's basically like way more than it is over here, and sort of like $300 above the US registered retail price. So for whatever reason in that sort of end of the world,
we've always fucking had this, and you have this everywhere. I mean, it's not really fair to... I don't think it's fair to blast Sony. It's
$790 in a territory of the world that is...
Okay, sorry, I should rephrase that. I think it's fair to blast. I think it's fair to blast Sony, but the fact that this is just now getting attention is complete bollocks. Because, you say you've got a mobile game. Bear with me, because I know everyone fucking hates mobile games and mobile gamers. But say you've got a fucking mobile game, and there's something on there, and it's £50 UK. That'll be $50 US. That'll be $50 Australian. That will be $50 Canadian. That is a wildly different price range. You're going from like £40 to like £80 for the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
God knows why it's done this way. The same thing has always been the case with consoles and stuff, and iPhones. iPhones would be $600 in America and fucking £800 in the UK, which is again fucking hundreds of pounds difference, like £300 difference. It's nuts, man. It's always been the way.
I would have thought that it would come into consideration, though, especially in somewhere like Brazil. Like the person that brought this to Corey Balrog's attention, the director of God of War, sort of said to him, like, it's hard to get excited for God of War Ragnarok because the console costs 5 monthly minimum wages. Okay,
that's a lot. I mean, I guess you've also got to look at the local economy there and see how much that realistically is. And that is too much. I'm sure something will be done about this, especially after this article. I mean, I'm fucking hoping.
Yeah, I mean that's a big name as well for one of your first party publishers to go out there and say, yeah, that's bullshit. They cost that much and the price is not adjusted accordingly per region. To say that very publicly on a platform like Twitter, for one of the flagship games of this console, that's a lot of eyes on you right now, Sony, to make a move, and that they're already charging far too fucking much for games and stuff at the moment. So I'm glad somebody who's got a bit more of a platform than you and me, because I know you and me have bitched about it a little bit, the price of hardware, the price of games, but I'm glad that someone who's got a little bit more of a platform than us.
But it's got the UK prices here, and it's officially $449 in the UK. That's $120 more expensive than it is in the US. $120 more to get it across the pond, and you're selling it. There's tens of thousands of these being sold every time they go up on sale.
Probably all by the same person, though, in the current market.
You're one to talk, ain't you?
Obviously,
Mr.
I've
bought
got
my PS5 from a scalper.
I just woke up one day and I was like, I want a PS5. It's like, I got a reasonable price, though, to be fair. I talked him down. I used some Jedi mind tricks on him. So, but no, I forgot what I was going to say again. It's too hot today. I've genuinely forgot what I was going to say about it. Yeah, it's gone. That's gone. You ruined that. Congratulations.
That's good.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
Always, mate.
No.
Should we move on to the MCU now?
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. So basically, there's a debate
getting about ready to go on break and
really hot.
Oh yeah.
I'm fucking hot as well, man, to be fair. It's a sweaty ass podcast, dude. It's a sweaty ass podcast. So basically, people are saying that the MCU, which obviously stands for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, should now be kind of renamed to the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse.
Disagree.
I back it.
Okay, so it's just awkward, and there's not really any point in it. When it could also just be the Marvel Cinematic Universes.
Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. I like it. It's very lyrical. It rolls off the tongue. Give it a shot. Marvel Cinematic Multiverse.
Okay, but what's easier to say, MCU or MCMV?
MCMV?
It's definitely not. You're just saying that because it's like.
I'm just saying it to be contrarian, is what
yeah,
you're saying.
it's definitely not easier to say.
I back it because I'm a stickler for detail and it's canon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, but it's never going to stick. You can have the debate this week. We're all going to have the debate. It's
fucking weird.
It's always going to be the MCU. So.
Why are you trying to change the name of something that's like fucking 14 years old at this point?
I don't like change. The MCU is dead. Long live the MCMV.
Oh god. Yeah, you text me that, and I just didn't even reply. I can't be bothered.
You didn't. You couldn't be asked, could you? It was too early in the morning for you. And then the last thing before we go into break, my Jujutsu Kaisen's back. It's back AF, mate.
It is. Yeah.
So we got some news. I think it was about a month ago now, was it? That the mangaka was not very well. Had to take some time off.
For anyone that doesn't know, that's the artist / author of this particular series.
Back now. Like, it's said to resume fairly soon.
It's great to hear. You know, I think this was bigger news than it really should have been in the first place, coming off the back of the mangaka for Berserk passing away.
Yeah, I think
seemed like a
everybody
lot of
panicked
huge
because of that.
mangaka were getting ill, or getting old essentially. Unfortunately, in some cases not, but still getting ill. But yeah, glad it's back.
Yeah. Everybody panicked because of the mangaka of Berserk passed away, and obviously because of COVID as well. So it probably was blown a little bit out of proportion. He said it was going to be about a month, and it was about a month, and it's coming back now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Connecting news to this as well, a Japanese company that focuses on the stats of the entertainment industry has reported that Jujutsu Kaisen is the most watched show on streaming platforms in Japan as of June this year.
Doesn't surprise me.
Beating Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. So
yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's fucking huge, dude. It's such a big show.
Yeah, it's something I'm gonna get on. That's my next big kind of anime undertaking. As soon as I can wrestle the control of the TV back from my lovely partner. And that's it. That's everything we've got for news, mate. Do you want to have a little break? Are you sweaty?
Oh,
I sweaty, Betty.
I'm sweaty.
No,
I want to turn my fan up. It's really loud when I turn it up, though. So.
It's all right. Before we jump into break, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's watching us on stream right now. Thank you very much. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you as well. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitch, make sure you give us a follow. We are on the way to affiliates, which is
click
brilliant.
links. Do both on both. That'd be fucking great. But we definitely need some more follows so we can qualify for affiliate in a couple of weeks when we've done the X amount of hours streamed or whatever, which I think we're actually nearly at. We need to hit the days streamed, so we need to be doing 2 streams a week.
Okay, we can do that.
Time being.
We can do that. Not a problem.
Not
a problem at all. But let's get you nice and cooled down then, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Loki. So spoiler alert up top for season 1 of Loki, because it's going to be a bit no holes barred.
Yeah, I'll stick something on screen when we're actually doing it. But yeah.
Yeah,
you know, even if you haven't seen it,
on the screen.
Yeah, just click mute, man. Give us the watch time, like, you know. That goes for Twitch and YouTube. All right, we'll be back in a bit.
Brilliant. All right, nice one, guys. Thank you. Nice one. We're back, eh?
We am. I
enjoyed our break. We had a few vapes, a few shenanigans with our chat.
Bit of pasta.
Yeah, we had an eating break. I skipped my tea.
The first official mukbang, as coined by, I think it was Brad.
Yes, mate. Yes. All right, so we're going to talk about Loki. I've changed the lights for the occasion. We're going with a green kind of Loki vibe. How the fuck do you think this series went?
Amazingly, as a
so
whole,
good.
So fucking good. One of my favourite shows of the year, definitely, and I think it's by far the best out of the 3 MCU Disney Plus series we've had so far.
By a country mile.
Yeah,
dude.
it's not really close. I think they all started as strong. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't start as strong, but it sort of it stayed. Plateaued at that. But I think WandaVision started quite strong. When I say started, I mean every episode apart from the last episode, and then it sort of just went off a cliff a little bit for me.
For the last couple of episodes, yeah, they weren't so strong. No, to be fair, there were some good episodes in there. It was just the plot kind of.
But yeah, I think Loki started strong and got stronger and stronger, and the second to last episode, fucking hell, is amazing. And I really enjoyed the last episode too. Some really
the last two episodes of this, as well as the first episode, are some of the best content in the MCU. And this was it's such a fucking breath of fresh air, because there's been, like I said earlier, there's been a lot of mediocrity in the MCU recently, so it needed something to just come in, smack you in the face. It gets to where WandaVision got to by about episode 4 in that first episode. By the end of it, I'm really into the multiverse concept, and the reason I'm into it is because like you and me and people like you and me and people in our chat have been sort of aware of these comic book concepts like a multiverse for years and years now, and now to get mainstream's audiences on board with that as well, I think the MCU's reached a point that people will just go with it. It's just like, this is what we're doing in the MCU. It's like, oh, okay, we'll roll with this kind of thing. So and obviously Tom Hiddleston, 11 out of 10. Like, this is his career best. He gets to play multiple versions of himself peppered throughout the series without giving too much away. And I think every interpretation in the show is fucking bang on, very on brand for Loki. Even being Loki kind of without all that character development that he got through other films.
Well, yeah, that was a comment that I made to Kate. I really like how they managed to shove all of his character development into a couple of episodes of a TV show instead of over the course of like 5-6 years worth of film.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was really one scene, isn't it, when you kind of have that conversation with Owen Wilson's character, and he sees his own file, and he sees kind of how it played out for him in those other films. So you kind of get that. Rather than having it peppered out throughout movies, you get it in one. I kind of
agree. It's not such a smack in the face, I don't think, because I still think it happens gradually over the show, mostly through conversations with Mobius, with Owen Wilson's Mobius. But there are also moments, I think meeting other Lokis is huge for him. When he in later episodes, I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, but he meets more Lokis, and they just sort of do the typical Loki thing, and they're all like proud, and I am the king of blah blah blah, and start betraying
glorious
each other.
Purpose.
And he's just there in the background rolling his eyes, like, oh fucking hell, I am like this, aren't I? This is what it's like. So I think they did a good job throughout the whole series. I think he was still growing as a character, but it's weird because this is the first on-screen version of Loki that I, as a viewer, have trusted. I trust when he says what his motivations are. I trust that those are his motivations.
By the end, definitely. I think in that first batch of episodes, you're still kind of second guessing him, like maybe for the first 3 episodes. But I think he's got a lot more conviction in sort of like the last 3, which I definitely think was by kind of design, kind of thing. So should we get into a few specifics?
I'll stick that spoiler warning up.
Warning up. If you've got a Disney Plus subscription, go and watch Loki. If you don't have a Disney Plus subscription, drop me a message and I'll give you my login details so you can go and watch Loki. I'll do that to anybody who wants it. Anybody who wants to watch Loki, you can have my subscription details. It's not a problem, and we'll get that out there because this needs to be seen. Even that's a question actually. Before we go into spoilers, do you think this works as a self-contained thing? It really doesn't at all, does it?
No, I think it does.
Do you think?
100%.
Yeah, without 100%. Any knowledge of the MCU, like I saw Avengers. I know who Loki is. Let's whack this on. Do you not think?
I think that is literally all you need to see, because they detail how he gets the stone at the start. There are a few bits like knowing how strong the Infinity Stones are in the MCU gives you a bit of context to the power of the TVA earlier on. But I really don't think that you need to have seen the show to enjoy this at all.
Okay, so kind of touching on that and heading into spoilers now, then I suppose the first thing to talk about in that first episode, the Infinity Stones. So I'm kind of in between that, because on one hand, so basically they go in and they show you the Infinity Stones, and in this kind of wherever space between space where the TVA exists, they're used as paperweights. They have no power. They're like, Loki even tries to use the actual Tesseract from Avengers and can't do it.
Doesn't this make sense within the context of the MCU anyway?
This is kind of what I'm getting at, because on one hand, it's like kind of betrays the world building of what was already established by the MCU kind of thing, right? And you put us through so much through, like, what was it, like 20 different films to be told that these are nothing more than paperweights kind of thing. And then on the flip side of that, it's like, oh, actually this is really interesting, because we're dealing with a force now that's like far beyond anything that we've seen before.
So as far as I understand it, Infinity Stones only work in their universe of origin, and that's the way it is in the comics too. You can't just grab an Infinity Gauntlet and saw through the multiverse doing whatever the fuck you want, because each universe has its own Infinity Stones. They're created when the universe itself was created. So as far as I understand, you take them out of that universe and they're useless. The TVA definitely exists outside of the timeline, just as
we don't get real
Castle did at the end. So they are not within the universe. They're definitely not within their universe of origin. They're just in this weird space that doesn't allow magic and stuff like that, and that's probably because these powers can't be drawn from wherever the TVA is. Not because the TVA have put up a barrier, but because it is removed from reality itself on some sort of scale, because it's removed from time itself. How else would these regular human variants be able to live for millennia?
It's interesting as well. This is like these like really powerful, clearly multi-dimensional beings, or at least that's what we're led to believe at the start. And they're just pencil pushers. Like the TVA operates in the same way as like a DVLA would, or any kind of big, big kind of courthouse almost. It just operates like a standard issue office, and I like a swanky office. Like some of the visuals of the TVA, they're pretty nice. As it goes, but I liked that it was just sort of like a very almost mundane kind of setting, almost.
So I see someone in chat has just said, Brad's just said, because in Endgame they used the stones from another universe. I don't agree with that being another universe. I know that directors have come out and said one thing. It's the same universe. It's an earlier version of that universe. At that point, the universe could split. Definitely, it's definitely a point where the universe could branch off. But that is just the same Infinity Stones, even if they split off. In that story, it is the Infinity Stones that are splitting off the universe. So they still have the same universe of origin. That's the way I understand it to be, anyway.
The timeline seems to run in one concurrent river in Endgame, because Captain America puts those stones back.
And like the TVA say, what the Avengers did was meant to happen. They were meant to do that. Because Loki points out, they're fucking around. So that is, whatever happens in Endgame, that is part of the normal passage of time in this universe. If the TVA deem it, if the one who missed his last bus or whatever his name is, deemed that to be the correct flow of time, then there are only one set of Infinity Stones throughout that anyway. There are duplicates, but they would then, in theory, get it gets a bit complicated when you're talking about the practicalities behind it.
This is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but it's very on topic to what we're talking about. So I'm going to say this just now rather than waiting until we talk about the last episode. Okay, so you watch that first episode and you kind of like, this does open a bit of a can of worms in terms of the mechanics, and what about Thor taking Mjolnir from his original timeline? What about Captain America?
Well, just to specifically address that part, Captain America took Mjolnir back with him and didn't return with it. So you would imagine that for Thor, all he would need to do is just drop it somewhere, and Thor's going to call that. He just need to go and give it to Thor and be like, all right, mate, you drop this.
It's kind of irrelevant to my overall point anyway, but you could ask those questions watching that first episode, is why hasn't the TVA stepped in just now? The purpose of the TVA is to prevent the existence of Kang the Conqueror. that is pretty well spelled out in that last episode when they ask He Who Remains, and that isn't Kang the Conqueror. It's a variant of him. He's not Immortus. He's not Nathaniel Richards. He's not Iron Lad. He is He Who Remains. He's the variant.
That is his name. He is. Yeah. I'm sure he does. He did have another name, but he has millions and millions of. Well, he is an incalculable amount of time old, essentially.
But they ask him what he's so afraid of, and he says, "Me." So the entire existence of the TVA is to, like I said, prevent Kang the Conqueror from coming into existence. So anything that goes down on the timeline, whether or not it involves time and wimey shenanigans and going back and putting the Infinity Stones back and stealing Mjolnir, as long as nothing happens in that timeline that would branch and create a variant of He Who Remains that would become Kang the Conqueror, then it's all good. That sacred timeline is a timeline in which no variant of that guy exists, because, like he says, if you think
one version does, and that is the version that then later goes on to be He Who Remains.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it exactly. So that's where you get around those kinds of time shenanigans, because providing it didn't branch off, which obviously it does by the end, it completely fucking backfires, and it makes me very, very excited for the kind of upcoming projects, and I definitely want to see more. It left last episode left me hungry. Definitely.
There's a lot more that they can do with this, and there's a lot more that they will be doing with this in upcoming shows. I would imagine more films than shows, but they'll definitely be doing something with it. And obviously Loki's coming back for season 2 as well.
Season 2, and they also dropped
really chuffed with.
Yeah, definitely. They dropped the nugget of information as well that he'll be in Multiverse of Madness alongside Scarlet Witch. So
that came out with a Hollywood Reporter, but has it actually been confirmed yet?
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's going down. Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
That's why there's been a lot of memes this week about Doctor Strange checking his phone after Wanda and Loki have been fucking around, and he's like there with a cigarette or whatever. But Loki does himself in this in this season. What do you think of Sylvie as a character? Great reveal.
Good character.
First and foremost.
Good character.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did something like this. Loki is the perfect fucking character to do it with. He is absolutely a character that you can see falling in love with a female version of himself. 100%. But I think it's the only character it would work with. I've got no issues with it. I can see a lot of people had issues with it, but I think they just need to stop watching incest porn. And
I've got no issue with it either. Like you just said, it's very on brand for Loki to be that narcissistic, to fall in love with himself. I've recently experienced this plot line in Crash Bandicoot 4, where this exact same thing happens with a character called Entropy, who goes to another dimension, finds a female version of himself, and they fall in love with each other.
Well, it reminds me of the Letuses from BioShock Infinite as well.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, definitely.
It's been done a bit before. But no, I think it worked. It definitely fits with the character very well.
I liked the kind of mystery in the run up to that reveal in episode 2, where they kind of discover that she's been hiding in different apocalypses, and it doesn't matter what you do here, you fuck around here, and it doesn't lead to any kind of Nexus event. And,
so there was a lot of shit like that in this show, where a lot of other shows would just make up jargon. You'd be watching some other sci-fi show, and it'd be complete made up words. But to me, pretty much everything that happened in this series made sense in the context of this universe.
Yeah, I was never like, Yeah,
and the rules that they've put out and set for themselves. Yeah,
I was never lost. I was never lost. There were certain things that happened where I was like, okay, where are you going with that? But by the end of the whole thing, everything sort of gelled together and made sense, and there's not many plot holes here. Whereas I thought there would be at the start. It's like this completely flies in the face of a lot of stuff that's been established in the MCU. There's so many plot holes all over the fucking shop here, and then there's just not. By the end of it, it all makes sense.
Yeah, and I had that feeling like midway through watching this, I did have the feeling that, okay, they're going to fix all this. I know they're going to fix all of this, because at the moment it makes no fucking sense. And something big's going to happen by the end of this. And I especially took issue with the one sacred timeline. I knew we weren't leaving the series with one sacred timeline, because, well, you wouldn't introduce a sacred timeline to then keep it for the next property, which it's it's the task of the show is dismantling the TVA. Which bad job, by the way, dude. Bad job.
Yeah.
You didn't smash that really. Could have done better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That kind of backfired in your fucking face. It is heartbreaking when, because like you said, by the end of it, Loki's being very genuine, especially in relation to his feelings towards Sylvie, and it's kind of heartbreaking to watch that final kind of fight between the two of them. And Tom Hiddleston fucking kills it. Like the whole fight. It's just like she's raring to go. She's waited her whole life for this, and he's fighting back tears the entire time.
Their body language was both on point for that.
Great performance.
I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was amazing action, but
no, I don't think the action in this series is amazing in general. I think all the...
I'd disagree. I'd say episode 5 is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I think a lot of the I think it's episode 3 where they try and do like a Daredevil style unbroken hallway kind of tracking shot, and a lot of it just seems like Tom Hiddleston doing his blocking on a green screen, which it is. I know that's what it is, but that comes across on film to me. Same with a lot of the.
I don't remember that scene, to be honest.
No,
didn't
same
stick
with
out to me.
The martial arts in the Timekeeper's Chamber. An episode later, that kind of fell a little bit flat for me as well in terms of action. But this is way more of a plot-driven series than it is an action-heavy series.
Yeah, and it's more. It's a lot less plot and a lot more dialogue and. Thinking about things, trying to figure things out for yourself, and trying to figure out where things are going to go next. I know WandaVision did that on a whole different level to any other TV show ever. But that disappointed. This did not. This. It really did tick all of the boxes for me. There was There was a bit of great action. There was. I mean, I want to talk. I'm itching to talk about episode 5 here. Specifically we'll go into Richard E. Grant. That was just a great fucking episode. I really struggled to think how it can get better after that. And the reason it got better after that is because of dialogue and because of the actors themselves just fucking nailing these performances. But special effects wise, action wise, we didn't get anything better than episode 5, which is
no, that was a great set.
Right.
Don't
try and top it.
Set piece.
You don't need to top that. The fake Asgard was amazing. The
fake Asgard was great.
It looked great.
The flaming sword was great. Alioth, great. I mean, I got a little bit testy at first when I saw a giant cloud because I started having flashbacks of that Fantastic Four film when they made Galactus a cloud. I was like, whoa, wait, we've come so far. But
is that not what Alioth is though?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very on brand. I didn't know much about him. I gave him a quick Google, and that's what he is. And,
linked to known acquaintances on the wikis like Kang. Straight up.
if you, I mean, I'm a comic fan, right? But I don't profess to have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything concerning the Marvel universe. But if you were, you
wait, you don't.
No,
that's it. I'm not doing this anymore.
Well, fuck you. Then I don't need this shit. If you had an encyclopedic knowledge of the whole Marvel universe, especially the character of Kang, you could have joined the dots a lot earlier. As soon as they said Judge Renslayer, you would have been like, Kang's coming.
Yeah, so you probably would have. I didn't get it from obviously Judge Renslayer, but I think it was either episode 1 or 2 that I thought, well, it's Kang, isn't it? It's got to be Kang. Like, this has got to be the introduction of Kang. I said to you, they announced the casting for that ridiculously early.
Yeah, we kind of theorised about it off topic, and
I think most people had figured it out by episode 5, to be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And if they hadn't, it was the Quang on the Avengers Tower.
The Quang, yeah, I sent that to you, didn't I? I was there's so many little references in that episode, like the Thanos copter. I love the fucking Thanos copter. Like, I paused it, I sat down, and I almost cried.
Yeah, no, that episode was fan service at its best. Like,
yeah,
the head of
little
shit that
the head of the Living Tribunal's in there. The Throg in the little jar.
Yeah,
Thor Throg. What else was there? Giant yellow jacket head.
Yeah, that was weird, but I guess he can go giant, so kind of makes sense.
Oh God,
I really like the Living Tribunal head.
Yeah,
I thought that it's only a statue, but the fact that somewhere in the multiverse someone is making statues for the Living Tribunal, that's pretty bonkers. I'm glad that it wasn't the actual Living Tribunal head, and they're trying to say that the TVA was some So there should be no character introduced into the MCU that is more powerful than the Living Tribunal. I'm sorry,
especially if you bring in other characters as well, like Eternity, who's like the living embodiment of the Marvel universe, and then like the one above all, and like you said, the Living Tribunal. That they need to be the top bollocks in the universe.
They do,
They weren't real. Oh, have we paused it a bit?
We have, yeah. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, are we back now? Yeah. What do you think of the timekeepers and that kind of reveal? Because I kind of
saw it coming a mile away.
I rolled my eyes a little bit at that though, because I was like, "Are we getting another Ralph Boner thing here?" But they delivered at the end of it. It's not like it wasn't like a fuck you, screw the audience kind of thing.
See, for me, I saw it coming weeks before. I saw them not being actually anything. I didn't think they were going to be. I thought it was going to be more Mandarin Iron Man 3 than just
robots,
fake robots. Yeah.
I think that was when after that episode and that reveal, if the timekeepers aren't behind it, I think that was when you and me started speaking about Kang and stuff. I think that was when I was certain.
Yeah. I was like, okay, it's got to be. If it's not them, it's 100% Kang. Like there's nothing else it can be, right? Yeah. Especially a character that we know has been cast for at least a year or year and a half or however long. Yes.
So is that confirmed to be his next appearance then in Ant-Man, or is he going to be in other stuff before that?
It's not confirmed to be his next appearance. It's not like they didn't have a screen at the end saying, Kang the Conqueror will return. There wasn't anything like that. I like they did Thanos will return at the end of
Thanos will return. Yeah, they did Loki will return. I forgot to say in our Black Widow episode, but I would have loved it like right at the end of Black Widow that Black Widow will not return. Because she's dead.
Or maybe, Black Widow will return in Marvel's What If Zombies.
Yes.
Or something like that,
Yeah.
But,
episode 5 then, let's go off about that a little bit. Like that might be my favourite, and Richard E. Grant, like you said,
favourite, yeah.
Yeah, steals the show. Absolutely steals the show as classic Loki. I love these little kind of tributes to the classic comics that have been on screen, sort of like through WandaVision and now with this. I'm a big fan.
That's really cool of them to put that sort of effort in.
Yeah, it sort of pays homage to almost like started from the bottom and now we're here kind of thing, and just pays homage to where it kind of came from. No, absolutely fucking steals the show. I liked Kid Loki as well. I thought he was a good little actor. I liked his little nugget of backstory that he killed Thor. I wonder whether that was when Loki knows that Thor loves snakes, and we were about 8 at the time, so I picked up the snake to admire it, and he was like, "Oh, it's me," and he stabbed me. I wonder whether that was the moment that Kid Loki killed Thor, and that was his Nexus event.
I'd love to know. I'd love to have seen some of these things. I quite liked, and obviously I spoke about him a bit already, but I quite like Richard E. Grant's Loki's backstory. How, he
just
did
left everything.
Yeah, he just fucked off. He was like, "I'm done, man. I'm dipping. I'm gonna go hang out on this random planet in the middle of fuck ass nowhere and just chill." And then he tried to do anything but that, and he was like, "No." But
yeah.
To me,
I think there is more. Back in the world,
yeah, I think there's more behind Loki as a character, and I'm not saying a single Loki. Just in the multiverse, I think there's more to Loki where. There are so many comments about you throw a stone, like when they're at the end of time, and you throw a stone and you hit a Loki out here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it. I think Loki has some sort of connection with either the time stream or Kang.
Yeah.
That we will see fleshed out maybe in season 2, maybe in a future film.
Yeah, but there's definitely a reason that of everybody who's ever been pruned, it's the variants of this particular person that always survive.
Yeah, and they mention it even early on in the series, like you've all seen a dozen of them, and they show you the different, like the big beast one, a few different bits of Loki, a photoshopped picture of Tom Hiddleston from outside of Disney stuff. I always thought that was kind of funny. We're safe from the mouse. They'll get him.
Good comedy in this. Like I often feel, especially nowadays, that people expect Marvel stuff to be like joke, and a lot of the times it feels really forced. Not so much in this. I thought there were some really good comedic lines. First episode where it's like, to your knowledge, are you a robot? And then he goes to go through the metal detector. It's like, but what if I was a robot and I didn't know about it?
That landed with me.
How do we know? How do we know we're not robots? That's a fucking brilliant point. I never considered that. It's okay, so a couple of variants we haven't spoken about, like boastful Loki didn't really do that much for me.
He just all he did was betray them and get snubbed for a pop figure. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Everyone else got a pop figure apart from boastful Loki. So some people, obviously, people taking the race angle.
Of course,
on Twitter. That was the thing on Twitter for half a day.
Pop vinyls were fucking Twitter's villain of the day, I suppose. They always need Twitter needs a bastard of the day every day. One day it'll be our turn.
One day it'll be us, and we'll get all the exposure that comes along with it. It's actually a good thing if you're starting.
I was going to say if we can ride that wave. That's why I think that we should like attack bigger channels than us. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to name any names on here, but
we could say that we're being cancelled. The reason we've only got 2 viewers right now, which is sad because one of our dedicated viewers left. But the reason we've only got 2 viewers right now is because Big Tech's trying to cancel us.
Big Tech, right? Trying to take us down. They're not looking after the little guy. No, I love Alligator Loki. Alligator Loki was a big meme. I think that those memes are still going. Yeah, they used that President Loki variant in quite a lot of promo, and he was kind of there and gone. Which
he was in it for the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know why they made such a big push with him in the trailer if they weren't going to utilise him. I think maybe
the art of misdirection, I guess.
As much as I like Loki's kind of like our main protagonist to development, where he's kind of less of just a straight up villain. I do like that villainous aspect of Loki, his villainous personality. So if that's going to get lost in the shuffle, kind of because variant of Loki that we're following has had too much development for it, it's nice to see it on screen for a little bit with a Loki that's played by Tom Hiddleston. And
I think the purpose of President Loki was to show the absolute contrast.
The glorious purpose of President Loki.
It was to show the contrast between, you know, the Loki that we've seen grow and what he would have been without going through that journey. And for let's just call him our Loki. And for our Loki to stand there fucking rolling his eyes with his arm crossed, being like, these guys are a bunch of fucking idiots. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
That was the purpose of that character. President Loki, it's the most... It's Loki in, you know, Thor 1 or Thor 2, just dialed up a lot.
It's villainous Loki in his purest form, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see those mannerisms again, do you know, because that's very prominent in the first episode, and then the bravado drops, and he settles into his kind of character arc. But I do like that version of Loki from Avengers, from Thor 2.
Oh, he's fun to watch.
He's
very captivating on screen, definitely.
I forgot about Sif. Sif is in this. There's a few characters in this.
Sif is in this. She has now been in as many Marvel TV shows as she has been films, which is interesting.
Yes, she has. Yeah, she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Back in the day, season 1, 2 or something like that. That's kind of interesting. She's only alive because she wasn't available to film Ragnarok as well, as we all know.
Yeah.
Lucky. That's it. Pretty lucky, yeah.
She's going to be in 4-4 though, isn't she? 4 Thor, more Thor.
I hope so.
I'm sure that's confirmed, man.
There probably is. I don't really pay that much attention to the news like that unless you bring it up on a podcast, and then I'll still forget about it in a week.
Yeah.
But no, she's a strong female character that's already quite developed. It kind of makes sense that they use her.
Gives Loki a dressing down as well. Even in that one instance of the timeline where he kind of owns up to everything and she helps him up, she still ends by cutting him deep.
I mean, that's worse. You know, when she that version of Sif was the equivalent of saying, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed."
Disappointed
to your kids, you know. It hurt more than if we'd have just been smacked. You know?
we all know that's worse. Okay, Miss Minutes then. Tara Strong doing the voice.
I fucking love Tara Strong. I am such a huge fan of Tara Strong. If you don't know who she is, just picture any cartoon from your childhood, and she voiced about 5 people in it. She is an absolute superstar when it comes to voice acting, so it makes sense. I'm really glad if this was a film, they would have gone with, you know, some fucking famous movie star. I'm really glad that they got the best of the best for voice acting talent. Because
I don't know about that, dude. Because Owen Wilson's quite a big, he's not like a superstar. He's not a leading man, but he's quite a big name. Everybody kind of knows who Owen Wilson is. And he's
this is my okay. So my point is that if it was a movie, they would have definitely gone for a big Hollywood name for it. In a TV show, it's surprising that they haven't.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did, because there was a lot more to that character that on a second watch through you are picking up on the things, the tone of the voice that only someone as experienced as Tara Strong can really do. I mean, she fucking smashed it. It was one of
absolutely killed it.
It was one of the standout performances in the entire show to me. I don't know if that's just because I'm a bit of a fucking fanboy already, mate. But
what about the jump scare? Did it get you?
No, which is weird because jump scares normally fuck me up.
It got me the second time I watched it, but not the first time, which was weird. But I think maybe that coupled with Dead Vision from WandaVision are kind of getting people sort of accustomed to horror aspects being in these Marvel films for when we get to the Multiverse of Madness, because obviously Sam Raimi's behind that. Sam Raimi's got some horror credentials.
Yeah,
let's see. Yep, definitely. Okay, Mobius, who we've spoken about a little bit, but I actually think one of the especially coming back to the point that you said about the dialogue being so strong in this, I think the strongest scenes in this entire series are the first episode with Mobius and Loki, and the last episode with Sylvie, Loki, and Kang. And the one who remains, sorry.
Anytime Loki and Mobius are on screen together, it's good dialogue. There's not really a conversation that they had that that was shit, really. I thought it was all pretty good. The chemistry is really good. I really like when they go and test the apocalypse theory as well.
So that's a great scene.
That's a great scene. I think Owen Wilson fucking smashed this. I didn't really like the bloke. I thought he was kind of done with his career, you know, cashing in checks and all that. And to be honest, I didn't think he had much of a range to begin with, but I am really happy to have been proven wrong by all of that. He smashed it in this. I'll be keeping an eye out, you know, for his stuff more often in the future.
I think Owen Wilson is crazy watchable. Like he's not a draw for me. I won't be like, oh, I've got to go see this because Owen Wilson is in it. But whenever Owen Wilson's on screen in anything that I've seen of him, like in Armageddon or whatever, I just think he's fucking crazy watchable, man. Do you know what I mean? He's definitely. He's like getting in a warm bath. He's like, oh, it's nice. Do you know what I mean? That's
because I've seen a lot of his comedy films, and I don't really remember the plot in them, but I do remember a bit. You know, Owen Wilson's performance and his mannerisms and stuff like that. I mean, none of those films have any memorable plots anyway. So
not particularly. No. It's kind of like a one and done kind of thing, but with the exception maybe of Armageddon. But I think that might be like a nostalgia thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But
I don't think that's a good film, but that's a conversation for another day.
It's not a good film though, but I think it's just watchable. I like it. So Judge Renslayer can join the club with White Vision as being kind of important, and then fuck it off in the finale. And where did you go? What happened there? So
it's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, she kind of just buggered off. What did she say? I'm off to find some free will, and then off she went.
I didn't really like that character, or I don't. You know, maybe it's a really faithful, portrayal of the character from the comics. I wouldn't fucking know.
But nobody's got a tattoo of Judge Renslayer from the Marvel comic. It's nobody's favourite character.
Wow.
So.
You know,
that's where you're wrong.
But no, I didn't really.
Lobs his dick on the table. It's just Judge Renslayer.
But no, I thought she was a low point. I thought she was a low point of the series. She was pretty cartoonishly bad guy, if that makes sense.
Yep. Untrustworthy company man, company guy, company lady. Like
we've seen it 1,000 times before. You know, fair play with not going with a straight white man to be the obviously evil dude, like they were in with WandaVision and literally, you know, we can both think of. That's two examples that came out this year from this company. So.
What was I going to say about Judge Renslayer? Yeah, definitely a low point. Do something interesting with her in season 2. To be honest with you, mate, that entire subplot of the TVA finding out that they were variants and whatnot with Judge B15 or Unit B15, the big lady.
Yeah.
That kind of just fell off a cliff as well. Do you know what I mean? There was no resolution in this season for that plot line, which might not necessarily be a bad thing because they might build on it in season 2. But I would have liked a more concrete stopping point than.
Man, I was good with it. I was to me, all it said was that, they're not okay with this. The knowledge of that being given to the people who work at the TVA will break the whole TVA. I think that's important information to have going into a season 2. It doesn't necessarily need to have all played out. Maybe Judge Renslayer and Mobius are back on the clock with each other. It's be really interesting to try and find out where their memories were rewound to and how high up it goes. If it does go up to Judge Renslayer being completely rewound and stuck back in place as well.
Well, she didn't seem to know who Kang was when because Miss Minutes brings her some files or something, or she's downloading something, and I believe the dialogue goes something like, "This isn't what I asked for," and Miss Minutes is like, "Well, but he thinks this will be more fun," and she goes, "Who?" And then she disappears.
Yeah.
So there's something going on there. She's not ultra connected to the degree that she knows what's going on behind the curtain. But any more negatives? Because we've praised it, we've sucked this thing's dick enough. Is there anything else that didn't land for you? Like that whole third episode for me, I thought was a real low point. I didn't like that.
Jog my memory. The third episode was the low point of the entire series. But Tom Hiddleston had already come out in interviews and said it gets fucking interesting on episode 4. So I think,
and it did,
Yeah. So I think a lot of people just were fine with that. We just let it ride. Wasn't the best episode.
No, I think you could have
a bit more.
You could improve that episode a lot just by not staying. It's pretty much a battle episode, isn't it? On a train with Sylvie and Loki, and you could improve that a lot more by spending a little bit more time with maybe like the TVAs, like Loki's gone missing or whatever. Just have a few scenes in there, kind of thing. So
yeah, something could have been done, but as it's still not a terrible episode, and if that's the low point of your series and everything else is as good as it was, there's nothing to worry about, I don't think.
I think part of the reason that episode falls flat as well is because the 2 that came before it was so strong.
And the 3 that came after it was so strong. It's
fucking absolutely smashed it. Like I was riding high for a good couple of days after watching that last episode, and I'm sure you will. Well, I know you were as well, to be fair. So
I was, yeah. No, I really fucking was. Yeah, I was yawning but trying to suppress it.
God bless you. Bless you. Final thoughts.
So we haven't spoken about. There's not really much to say about Jonathan Major's portrayal as Kang the Conqueror that we haven't already covered, but just really what a captivating actor. Jesus Christ! Like
it's just intense. Like he's playing it. Kind of comedic, but it's not funny.
I'd watch this guy sit there and read off the fucking Argos catalogue. It's just what a captivating actor. I'm really impressed.
Where did he come from? Because what's he been in that I would have seen? Because this is the first time he's appeared on my radar. He's so fucking good. Like that's like such a good performance. Like if you'd have told me that the last episode of Loki was going to be a conversation between a character we've never met and the 2 Lokis on the other side of a desk in a job interview kind of format, I would have been like, what the fuck?
It sounds bad, doesn't it?
But it's amazing. It's one of the best.
I think that last episode, even now after we've seen it on paper, it looks really fucking bad.
Yeah, but still, it's not. It's one of the best, and the ramifications going forward now with the rest of Phase 4. I wasn't expecting this to be so, not groundbreaking. What's the word? Like a foundation going forward. I wasn't expecting this to be so integral, kind of thing. But it really is. It really sets the stage, kind of going forward, for a lot of things, especially like Doctor Strange 2 and obviously Loki Season 2 and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just looking. There's a couple of things. This is a very small filmography for an actor that's landed such a huge role as Kang.
Skills,
not really anything that I recognise, and nothing that seems hugely substantive until you get to Loki. And I know Lovecraft Country has done very well. He's one of the stars of that, and it's been nominated for a lot of Emmys.
Yep, we saw that earlier. Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, fair play to them. It seems like the Marvel casting directors are looking in different places now. Like They found, you know, the actor to play Shang-Chi from a small sitcom based on a Korean family. I assume that's where they found him because he hasn't really done anything else at all. Simu Liu, I think it is.
Well, they've been finding their directors for a while by looking kind of outside the box, and maybe they're like, well, this has been working well with directors. Why don't we start looking for talent as well in these places?
The scouts, you know, the casting directors and, you know, the producers who are finding, the scouts, but the people at Marvel who are finding these people to be in the films, to make the films, they're the real fucking talent here, guys.
Doing the Lord's work. My God,
they really are
so good. Yeah. What do you want out of season 2? Just more good shit. I've got no speculation. I've got no
speculation. Yep. I'm not sure if we'll see Sylvie or not. I'm okay either way. I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good character. I thought it was an interesting character.
Sylvie's the new star. Sylvie's the new Star Lord. She fucked up. She needs to face the repercussions of her actions, man. And I want the blue face. I want blue face, glowing eyes Kang. I want Kang the fucking Conqueror. I want that look. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want that. I give me that in Ant-Man. You know, I liked how grounded the characters looked in Loki.
Okay.
I think, you know, when you go into all of those special effects, I think it's much more of a movie thing. I was fine with everyone looking how they did. In fact, I think they look great. I also saw something on Twitter. Sylvie's costume was specifically designed so she can easily pump breast milk from it, which I thought was pretty cool. Really
really cool, man. Yeah.
But no,
there was a meme I saw of that. You know when Loki's like, "Oh, it's really chilly." It's like, "Oh, I wish you could conjure me a new outfit." And he does the thing, and then she's just wearing that that breastfeeding suit, and she's like, "Oh, you."
Oh God,
it was funny.
Sad as a panda down on the ground.
Sad as a panda that you found on the ground, rolling around.
Surprise to no one.
Surprise
to no one. I'm giving it exactly the same.
The highest praise I could give it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty fucking close. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a little bowl of chocolate mousse like the rest of the stuff that we've got from the MCU this year has been. This is like a chocolate fondue that you can stick marshmallows in and shit and have a good time. Do you know what I mean? And it might not necessarily all be good for you, but you have a good time. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I know what you're saying.
Sound as a pad. Sound as a pad.
Anything else to add?
No.
Okay.
No, we're good. We're good.
Then, how's it going, mate?
How's it going, Jord? Yeah, all right, have you?
I'm all right. Yeah, just wait a sec. I've got to do it manually.
How's it going? What's going on? Tell us about all the shit that you've done. How's it going, kid? Yeah.
I love your laugh at all of the end of those, the little songs that we have.
I'll try. I didn't do it in the new theme. I abstained for it, but I just can't help myself because a lot of the time when I've sent you these themes, it's been the first time that I've played them out, so I'll giggle at myself. I can't help it.
Quick question from the chat. You were going to mention something about the Kang Fantastic Four connection. I know the connection. I don't know if you were going to go into detail.
Yeah, no, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, Kang the Conqueror in the comics has been known to take the name Nathaniel Richards.
No, not has been known to take the name. That is the original name of, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah,
name is Nathaniel Richards.
He goes by many names. He
does.
He goes by Ramatut, but he has been known to be a potential.
But it's like me saying, well, I go by Jordan. It's my fucking name, innit, though? So it's like, call me George, call me... Yeah,
I know what you mean. No, but... all right, sorry. But the
Sorry, I'm just busting balls for no reason here. Just ignore me.
I was going to say, you put me on the spot here, but the Kang and Reed Richards connection that I was going to bring up is that obviously Kang in the MCU is played by a person of colour, so does that imply that Reed Richards will be...
Oh, God,
a black man?
Oh God, no!
I think that'd be really cool.
You know, I think it would be absolutely fine. But it doesn't even hint at that because, you know, what was it? 10 centuries difference.
Yeah.
Anything can happen to a Gene Paul in 10 centuries. You know, fucking anything. So I don't think you know, if they do decide to go that direction, I don't give a shit. Do whatever.
No, it's just tell a good story. It doesn't matter to me.
Like as the case with this, they definitely cast what they believed and what I now believe to be the best choice for Kang.
Yeah. So
Do
good.
that again for Reed Richards. Forget about race, because it doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion of it. They might do it.
Get the best actor for the job. I just think that'd be interesting to see. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
that's
keep
what I was
keep the Human Torch and the Invisible Woman as the people of color.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think, first of all, I think Michael B. Jordan was one of the only good things about that film. I think him as an actor. He's a really good cast for the Human Torch.
A little bit of a spoiler alert for Space Jam: A New Legacy, because I know that you and me aren't going to proper watch it. And just mute this for 2 seconds if you were going to watch it. There's a great joke. There's one really funny joke in Space Jam: New Legacy. So obviously Michael Jordan was in the original.
Mm-hmm.
And the team's losing quite bad, and then Sylvester the Cat comes in and he's like, I found Michael Jordan in the audience, and he's like silhouetted, and you see his shoes, and you see you come through the smoke, and it's Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, but that's pretty good.
And the Daffy Duck's like, you couldn't get Michael A. Jordan, you had to get Michael B. Jordan. So yeah, that's quite a funny joke. I thought
You enjoyed that one, I could tell.
I did. Like, this is funny. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, but yeah, how's it going?
How's it going? Yeah, we do. That's where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just melting, dying.
Oh god, it's so fucking hot. Do you want to make it even hotter? And shall we do this Pokemon quiz to close out the episode?
Are we going to do that in episode? Are we? Or is that going to be
do you
a little treat for the people watching on Twitch?
Let's do it as a tweet for the Twitch followers. Actually,
I probably will stick it up as a YouTube video.
We'll put it up as a YouTube video. Yeah. So, have you been up to anything? I mean, I've seen you quite a lot this week, and I feel like I've spoken to you about my life enough. I don't want to bore you.
About it all is I picked my Switch up again for the first time. I put it down for a few months. I picked it up, been playing a few old games, and that's about it really. Enter the Gungeon, just shit that I've spoke about before.
I had a blast playing Enter the Gungeon with you the other day. That was really fucking cool, man.
You left. We struggled to beat the floor 1 boss. You left, and I immediately got to the final boss on floor 5.
Well, you don't need me. You don't need me.
Just in my way. No, it's honestly, it's like that game is like 70-80% luck, and then 20% skill.
I'll put a little bit. 20% luck, 15% skill, 100% concentrated power of will. 20% pleasure, 30% pain, and 100% reasons to remember the name.
I feel like this is a reference that I'm too young to get or something.
I thought that you were making that reference to the way you said it. Forget it. Somebody will get that. It's yeah. No, yeah, I had a blast playing it. I've been tinkering around. I'm still playing the same games as I was playing last week. I'm playing through Mario Odyssey, and I'm playing through Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
You got any further through Mario Odyssey?
I haven't, because Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is so fucking good, man. Like I am having an absolute fucking blast.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah. No, I'll get back on Mario. I'll play a bit of Mario this week. Just
you are just shouting out a £70 game on the podcast, like you haven't got any moral objections to it or anything.
No, don't pay full price for it. I got this shit pre-owned for $53, and that's a standard game price. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit more than I'd like to pay for a pre-owned game, but I managed to do it without giving Sony any of my money, and it's such a good fucking game, man. It is. It's real fucking good. Like, I'm tempted to say that it might even be worth £70 full price.
Jamie.
It's not, but there's a lot of depth to it. It's really fucking good. It's the best Ratchet and Clank game that I've played since the original 3. And
okay,
that's quite good praise. Yeah,
right. That's what they call in the business a podcast.
It's not a podcast, is it? It looks like a podcast.
Smells like a podcast.
Smells like a podcast. Probably a podcast, mate.
Walks like a podcast.
Talks like a podcast.
And it was a podcast.
And it was, yes. Thank you ever so much to everybody who has checked us out live on Twitch. You are a legend. We appreciate you. Everybody who's watching this sort of back on YouTube.
For the people still watching on Twitch, you're not going anywhere. We've got the post show coming up. This is just for the YouTube peoples.
If you want to get involved in the post show and you are watching it on YouTube, then it's twitch.tv/Mukkapod, where we are live every Monday, 6:30 or around about then. We're usually a little bit late, but around that time, sort of like mid-afternoon.
We were a full 24 hours late this week.
We were. It was too hot. It was too hot
yesterday. And I've been doing a lot of manual stuff yesterday. Yeah. It just wasn't the day for it. I was not feeling good. But we're here today. But next week we'll be back on Monday.
Absolutely.
The YouTube version should go up around Monday, Tuesday as well. But I am notoriously shit at getting that up on time. So
no, you'll get it done. I think our Black Widow episode is going to go up at some point this week as well, isn't it?
It is.
Version. So you can catch
at least
catch
the
us a
last
week
half
early.
of it.
If you enjoy watching this, because I do know we get some hits on YouTube, you can catch us on Twitch every Monday, like George just said, and you can catch us a week early. Link in the description below. Thank you to Gary Davis from Skullfox for our theme that played up top. That'll play us out. Skullfox link in the description below as well. Jord, where can people find you online?
Here and there and everywhere.
Exactly, that's what I like to hear. Hang on, let me give you some solidarity because I can't do that on cue. There you go. You can find me at Kaiju Groupie on Twitter, at Kaiju Groupie 91, sorry, on Twitter. And if you see me in real life, please leave me alone.
We need to get you a more easily findable username.
Kaiju Groupie 91.
Yeah, man, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna, to be honest.
Japanese word, made up word, 2 numbers. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with that?
To be honest with you, I'm probably going to change myself to @Mukkapod or @Mukkapod Podcast or something because I only ever use it for the pod anyway. So I changed my handle from J@Mukkapod to Mukkapod Geek Culture Podcast. It's because I'm getting some mates on.
Keep it J@Mukkapod.
No, I'm getting some mates on. I'm getting some mates on there though, and they keep tagging me at Kaiju Groupie 91, and people won't be clicking on it because everybody else's tags are like podcasts and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I'm getting involved in the network there.
Make it Mukkapod. But keep your name as J@Mukkapod. I don't want any confusion. I do not agree with this bloke. His opinions are his own. All right.
My opinions are our own. So when I'm saying check out this great episode of our podcast, Jord doesn't agree with me.
You shit! Don't watch it.
But yeah, if you see me in real life, fucking leave me alone.
Okay.
All right, nice one. Thank you, Jord. Thank you, audience. See you next week.
The pod is finished. The pod is gone. Why don't you go watch another one? That was Mukkapod. It was Mukkapod. Mukkapod.